Hey Cam fam, welcome back and welcome to Keeping Up with Cam. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning into our channel, and if you're a returning subby, thank you so much for coming back. Today we have our Toddler Boy Hairstyle video number 65. So this is a really cute, simple style if you feel like you just want to kind of have like a little bit of a braided style, but you want to make it easy, you want to make it a little bit different, not too intricate with too much braiding. So we're going to be working on his hair in this state. I think I had it in like a ponytail for a couple of days, so I have some like old shine and jam in it. And then I was just like, you know what, let's get this hairstyle done. So this is definitely a beginner style, so don't even feel too intimidated by it. It's going to be great. So we're starting off by parting the hair down the center, but we're actually going to put a braid down that middlemost part of his hair. So we're not going to go right in the middle and make that part down. It's actually going to be a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left so that the braid itself is centered. So we're just going to part all the way down on the left and the right side, and it's going to go from the front of his head to the back of his head. So here I'm going in and I'm making sure that I have a clear visual of where the center is so that I can have enough hair on either side to make the braid size even. It is hard sometimes to braid his hair because, like I said, I'm doing it on camera, so I need to make sure that you guys can see everything. So sometimes I just kind of gotta stop what I'm doing and just go in and braid or part or do whatever I'm doing as if I'm not recording. But yeah, so you're gonna go in, center yourself, make sure you see where the middle is, and just space out that braid enough so that it is centered. We're going to make sure that we are pulling the sides of the hair here so that when we go down, it is again centered, because if not, and your child has like that extra scalp, extra skin like we do, the line is not going to be straight. You're going to think, oh, like parting like this, it's like, yeah, it's perfect, it's straight. But then once you actually pull it, once you actually braid it and you see where it actually sits on the head, it's wonky. And then we're sitting there like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? So make sure when you're parting, you are pulling the two sides, not tight, not too tight. You're just pulling it just enough so that you can see exactly what the line is looking like and that it's straight. Our old trusty Shine and Jam, the extra hold, the yellow container. I know I gave this thing a lot of flack in the beginning, but it's actually kind of my favorite to go to at this point because I know that I can braid with it. It's going to look good, but it's also not going to flake or crisp the hair, leave white residue. It's not harmful on his hair, so this is my go-to, guys. This is what we love in his hair. So I'm adding that to the hair, and then I'm going to go back in and I'm just going to make sure that I'm parting the hair straight. I'm cleaning up that line and making sure that it looks good all the way through. So braiding styles usually call for a bit of gel because you want to make sure that the hair is going to sit in that style properly. It's going to lay flat properly. We have all the bumps and stuff out of it, so as you can see, I've added that here, and then I'm going through with the comb just to make sure it's worked in properly, and it will be an easy time for me to braid it. Now, this is also another reason why I like Shine and Jam so much, because even though I'm adding it in there, I try not to use too much, but you do need a good amount. I don't feel like it's damaging the hair. I don't feel like it's clogging up the hair. I don't feel like it's just sitting on it. So if you do have the concerns, if you are worried about adding so much product, I do recommend something like Shine and Jam, which is kind of breathable. It does its job in the moment. It kind of fades away after a while, but it does what it's supposed to do. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to just separate the front part of this braid so I can get started. Sometimes I do make a clear definition like I did here, and then I get my 3 pieces, and sometimes I just grab and just go. So it's whatever is comfortable for you. I hold my hands different ways sometimes. For me, I realize I hold my hands different ways just depending on the size of the braid. So because this is like a bigger, thicker braid, I hold my hands in this position more, because it allows me to grip more of the hair and get it into the braid completely, and allows for the braid to be tighter and neater. You can also feel free to add product as you go. That way it just keeps the braid down neater, because sometimes we don't know how much product we're going to need throughout the whole braid. So doing it as you go just allows you to put as much as you need and not overdoing it. Also using your comb, not in the sense of a stitch braid, but just using your comb to help swoop that hair in, or to yeah, there you go, just bring it into the braid, to make sure that all the hair is together, because like when we have these size of braids, when we have them bigger than usually just like a regular cornrow size, we want to make sure that it's neat. And if the hair is just all over the place, if there's no product, if there's no like comb used, then it doesn't tend to look as neat as it can, and it's just kind of a big wonky braid, and we don't like that. So we're going for as neat as possible without hurting our little ones, without pulling too tightly on their hair and such. I'm adding a little bit of the Shine and Jam again to the ends, and I'm combing through it, and then I'm going to just continue braiding down the hair. You want to make sure that the bottom of the braid, just as the top of the braid, is neat. We want to make sure that it looks clean. If you're not combing or brushing as you're going, it's going to look like flyaways, it's going to look chunky, and it's not going to look even. So you just want to make sure that you braid and you brush as you go. It may be a little bit tedious, and you may think, oh my gosh, why am I having to do this? But when they have the thicker hair, the curlier hair, it's kind of the only way that we can really work on their hair properly. Alright, so let's get to the fun part. So we're going to start on the section on the right side, and I'm just going to section this off into 3 pieces in total, but 2 smaller pieces to begin with. So we're going to go in on a slant, and we're going to make that triangle part that you see first, and then we're going to come behind that and we're going to make a rectangle. You're going to make sure that it is evenly spaced, because when we split this rectangle into 2, we want to have like 2 square shapes. So you want to make sure that the width and the length of your part for this rectangle allows for there to be a good sized square to go with. So I'm going in and I'm adding that Shine and Jam, and again I'm cleaning up our part. We want to make sure that it's even, we want to make sure that it looks neat, and that it's straight. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to work on the last section, or the third section of this right side. So we're going to go through and we're going to go right down the middle and separate that into 2. It's going to kind of follow the same line that we did to split that second section into 2, but we're actually going to again do this kind of off center, because we're going to make this a middle braid. Just like that initial middle braid that we did in the front, we want to have it to be a center. So we're going to go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and that's going to make this a perfect center middle braid. Once we do that, and you section all of that off, just go in and start with the middle row. So the rectangles that you made into squares, you're going to separate like I said, separate into 2, and then we're going to use our elastics. I use the Goody elastics. I get these from Walmart in a little bag, cute little zipper bag. Comes in a set of 500 pieces. That is linked in my description, so if you're looking for them, you can also find those there. Now I'm putting the Shine and Jam on the perimeter. If you like a little extra added security, you can also go in with your favorite oil, just a little bit on the perimeter before you put your Shine and Jam. That way it allows it to not really damage the perimeter of the hair, and you're keeping it just a little safer, a little bit of a barrier. And this is where you see, like I said before, I'm making that into a middle braid. It is going to be a thinner braid compared to the first braid that we did, but it is going to be centered, and we just want to make sure that it is cleaned up and it is straight. So make sure that you're taking that section of hair and you're looking at it on both sides to make sure that it is going along the right path and it's not on a slant. So go ahead and just make sure you section off those areas that we're not working with yet. I'm going to go into the section in the back, and we're going to add the shine and jam. We're going to work that through with our comb and our brush. We just want to make sure that everything is detangled, the hair is at its true length, so that while we're braiding, it is a lot easier to work with. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that first square, we're going to take that on the left side because we're going to start with that going underneath. And I'm going to braid it. I'm going to braid it down, but not too far, just kind of where that back section starts. I'm going to then part it off on an angle because we are going into this section from the corner instead of going in from the front of the braid. So now we're just going to braid that back section as normal, but we're going to use the hair from that front section and we're going to just braid it in seamlessly and just go straight down like a normal braid. It's kind of like a feed-in braid if you know how to do that, a little bit more of like a simplistic version of it, but we're really just connecting our two braids and working them into each other and working them into one braid. And as tedious as it may seem, don't forget to braid all the way down to the ends of the braids. We want to make sure that we get it as braided as possible because that does help with keeping the hair straight and keeping it from curling up and keeping the ends from just making the style look undone or not nice. Alright, so now we're going to go in and we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the left side. We're going to do it with the right. We're going to start the braid off, braid it down a little bit. You don't want to braid too much. Now this one is going to go over top of the first one that we had. You can start with the right or the left, whatever you prefer, but I just decided to start with the left. And you're going to braid and then you're going to just catch that hair and you're going to braid it into each other as you go down. And it's super simple, super easy. Just keep using your comb or your brush to put the hair into the braid as you go. That way, again, it is staying neat, it's staying together, and it is laying down and getting the use of the shine and jam that has been added to it. For those who don't know, we are now on the Clock app. We're on the Tickety Talk. We have started a page. It is quite new, so bear with us. We have a couple videos up. We're probably going to be using it more of a way to show like previews of the new styles that we have coming up, a little bit of behind the scenes. Also, if there's like a specific thing you want me to show, I can do like a shorter video on there instead of putting it up on YouTube. So let us know how you'd like to see us utilize our new channel. It is linked in our community section. I will also put it in the description box just in case. And if you're not following us on Instagram, our page is also linked in our description box. All right, so working on the front, the last braid, we're going to use that first sectioned triangle, and we're just going to braid in. After you've added your shine and jam, we worked it through, make sure that it's as neat as possible because this is the focal part. We're just going to braid down. We're going to be going over the X that we created with the two other braids, and we're going to connect this braid into that middle section that we left out, and it's literally just going to be a straight braid back, and it's just going to kind of connect everything and have it look cute. You can go the alternate route where you actually start with this braid first, so it's underneath the X, whichever is more comfortable for you, but I've done that before and I just figured, oh, this is a different way to do it, and thought it might look cute, so we went with this braid over top the X's underneath. So you can see here and in other parts of the video at the end of his hair where kind of like the nape meets the end of the braid, it looks like it's pulling. It's really not. It's not painful. That is just a visual representation of what I mean by when our kiddos have like extra scalp or like a squishy scalp, that's what it will look like when you braid. You can have them put their finger down there if you think it might alleviate any pain, but it doesn't hurt. So we're going in now with our Kuza 100% Indian hemp hair and scalp treatment. I'm just going to be putting this on the scalp to alleviate any dryness, any dandruff if you may have that with your kiddo, and it just helps to keep their hair nourished as their hair is in this style and to keep it from drying out easier. All right, and then I'm just adding some of the Camille Rose Kids Sweet Puddin hair butter, and that is just going to be worked into the ends so the ends of the hair is not dry. All right, big reveal. This is what we have at the end, guys. This is our Toddler Boy Hairstyle video number 65. Worked up super quick, super easy, super simple. We have 3 braids crossed over each other, leading into 3 braids in the back. That's on the left and the right section, followed by 1 braid down the middle. I did end up banding the ends. I just took about 3 or 4 elastics and put those through the length of the ends of the hair. I was going to do it temporarily just to kind of straighten it out, but then I kind of liked it and it worked well with this style, so I left it in for the entirety of the style. This lasted about a week and a half. I think I had to actually take it out to just do something professionally for him, so I couldn't leave it in any longer. But this is a quick, easy style that you can actually also refresh if you want to keep it in for longer. So if you enjoyed this style, if you do try it, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let us know in the comment section below or in our DMs on Instagram or TikTok. You can also subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Thumbs up this video if you like it, and we'll see you in the next one.